My name is Chinedu, and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born in a small town and grew up with simple dreams. I worked many jobs, and life was always busy. Every morning, I followed the same routine: wake up, go to work, and come home tired. I had a steady job, but deep inside, I felt something was missing. I often wondered if I had missed my chance to try something new. I thought, maybe it is too late for me. One warm afternoon, I sat in a small cafe near my home. I listened as two young men talked about a computer course. Their voices were full of hope and excitement. Something stirred in me. I remembered my old dreams and the idea of learning new things. In that moment, I decided that it was never too late to change my life. I felt a small spark of hope that made me stand up and try something different. Later that day, I asked around about the course. I learned of a small computer center in the city. I met Mr. Aid, a kind teacher who welcomed everyone, no matter their age. I paid the small fee and joined the class the next day. Even though I knew little about computers, I worked hard. I listened carefully, asked questions, and practiced at home. That day, my life began to change. I realized that every day can be a new start, no matter how old you are. Starting the computer course made me nervous. I had never used a computer much before, and I worried about keeping up with younger classmates. But I was determined. Every day, I went to class and slowly learned the basics. I met many people who were friendly and patient. They helped me understand each lesson, and soon, I began to feel comfortable. During breaks, I sat with my classmates. We talked about our lives, our worries, and our dreams. I learned that many of them had fears too. Our teacher, Mr. Aid, often said, "Knowledge has no age." His simple words filled me with hope and made me believe that I could learn, even now. At home, I started to use my new skills. I helped a friend set up an email account and showed a neighbor how to search for news online. Each small win made me more confident. I began to see that my old routine did not have to define me. I dreamed of a future where I could work with computers and help others learn too. That day, as I walked home under the bright Lagos sky, I felt calm and happy. I believed in the idea that it is never too late to begin again. My heart was full of hope for the first time in many years. With my new computer skills, I began to look for a job where I could use what I had learned. I updated my resume and visited a small tech company in the city. There, I met Mrs. Bola, the manager. I told her my story, how I started learning computers, and how I wished to work in a place where I could grow. Mrs. Bola listened carefully and gave me a chance to work as an assistant. On my first day at the office, I felt nervous. I sat at a small desk with a computer that seemed to have a life of its own. I made mistakes at first, but my colleagues helped me learn. They explained each task with patience. With every day that passed, I grew more skilled and confident. I even started to do more work on my own. At home, my wife, Ngozi, was very proud of me. She always said, "I believed in you from the start." Her kind words and warm smile made me feel that I was on the right path. I also began to share my progress with friends and neighbors, and their kind words pushed me to work even harder. I kept a small journal where I wrote down each new skill I learned. I wrote about every challenge and every small victory. I learned that change does not come in one big leap. It comes in small steps. Each morning, I woke up with a fresh hope, believing that my life was just beginning. As weeks passed, I learned more about computers. I learned to use email, word processors, and even a bit of coding. Mr. Aid visited our workplace once, and he said, "Chinedu, you are doing very well. Keep it up." His simple praise meant a lot to me. I also learned the value of teamwork. My colleagues and I helped each other with work tasks and shared our ideas. I began to teach a few new friends how to use the computer. I explained things in plain words, just as Mr. Aid had done for me. I could see that sharing my knowledge made others happy. Sometimes I would think back to the days when I felt stuck in a routine. Now I was part of a team that grew together. I wrote in my journal, "I can learn and I can teach. Every day is a new chance." These words gave me strength and kept me focused on my goals. At home, Gozi and I talked about our future. We dreamed of starting a small business together, a shop that would help people learn about computers. The idea filled us with excitement. I knew that each small step in learning would help me build a better future for us both. My new job soon brought bigger tasks. One day, Mrs. Bowler asked me to help set up a new database for the company. I had never worked on a project like this before. I felt scared and unsure, but I also remembered my promise to myself that it is never too late to learn. I stayed late at work to study the manuals and watch online videos. I asked Mr. Aid for help, and my colleagues shared their tips with me. Slowly, I began to understand the steps. I made many mistakes, but each error taught me something new. When I finally finished the project, Mrs. Bowler smiled and said, "Great job, Chinedu. Your work is very important to us." That day, I learned that hard work and a willingness to ask for help can overcome fear. I wrote in my journal, "Every challenge is a lesson. I will keep trying." My heart felt lighter, knowing that I could meet any challenge with patience and support. I began to see that each problem was just a chance to learn more about myself. I realized that challenges are part of the journey. With every step, I grew stronger. I now believed that if I kept learning, nothing could hold me back. After the big project, I started to enjoy many small victories in life. I learned new computer shortcuts and even taught a few friends how to send emails. I visited a local school to help set up a small computer lab. Each little win made me feel proud. I joined a community group that met every weekend. There, I listened to stories of others who had started new paths. Many were older like me, and they had their own dreams of learning and change. I shared my story with them. I told them how I had decided one day that it was never too late to start. Their warm smiles and kind nods filled me with happiness. Every morning, I began my day with a feeling of purpose. I enjoyed the simple things, a good cup of tea, a kind word from a neighbor, and the laughter of new friends. With each small step, I felt my life getting brighter. Ngozi and I also began to plan for our future. We talked about our shop, where we could sell computer accessories and run free classes. The idea gave us both energy and hope. Slowly, our savings grew, and our plans started to take shape. I kept writing in my journal. I wrote down every small win, believing that they would add up to a big change. I learned that no step is too small if it moves you forward. I came to understand that life is a collection of little victories that bring big joy. As I grew in my new life, I realized that support from others was very important. At work, my colleagues encouraged me every day. They would share small tips, and sometimes Mrs. Bola would come by just to offer a kind word. I felt like I was never alone. At home, Ngozi was my rock. She cheered me on when I learned something new and helped me plan for our shop. Her love made me feel strong enough to face any day. I also met a kind mentor named Emeka, who had built his own small business many years ago. He shared his journey with me. Emeka told me, Chinedu, never think it is too late. Life gives us many chances. His words stayed with me and lifted my spirits. I also made many friends in the community group. We met every week in a small hall and talked about our dreams and struggles. I learned that many people believed that change was possible at any age. Together, we shared our stories and built each other up. One sunny afternoon, Emeka and I took a walk by the busy streets of Lagos. He said, keep your heart open and your mind ready. A small light can guide you out of the dark. I took his words to heart. I learned that support, no matter how small, can help you overcome any challenge. With the love of family, the help of colleagues, and the wisdom of mentors, I felt ready to move forward. I knew that I was part of a larger story of hope and change. With the support I had gathered, Ngozi and I began to work on our dream. We saved money carefully and found a small space in a busy part of Lagos. It was a modest shop, but we filled it with promise. We set up a small counter, placed a few computers for demonstrations, and put up posters to let people know about our free classes. At first, our shop was quiet. Not many people came because they were not used to the idea of a computer shop in our area. But we did not give up. We held free classes on basic computer skills. Slowly, word spread. Neighbors, young and old, began to visit our shop. They learned how to send emails, search for information, and even how to start small online businesses. I took joy in teaching. I watched as people learned, step by step. It made me proud to see the change in their faces, from confusion to delight. Our little shop became a center for learning and hope. I even hired a young man who showed great interest in computers. I taught him the basics, and soon he was helping customers too. Every evening, Ngozi and I sat together and talked about our plans. We dreamed of expanding our shop to include more classes and a small internet cafe. Our dream felt real, and every day we took one more step toward it. I wrote in my journal, our dream grows with every kind smile and every new skill learned. I believe deeply that no matter who you are or how old you are, you can build a bright future. Time passed, and my life kept getting better. I continued my work at the tech company during the day and helped run our shop in the evenings. I saw more and more people coming in to learn, and each day the shop grew livelier. My journey was not over. It was just beginning. I learned more about patience, hard work, and the value of every small step. I often wrote in my journal about the lessons of the day, how a kind word could change someone's mood, how a shared smile could spark hope, and how every challenge was an opportunity to grow. I remembered that warm afternoon in the cafe that had set me on this path. I remembered the words, never too late. I began speaking at local meetings. I told people that age is just a number, and that each day offers a new chance to learn. I listened to others who had started new paths in life. Their stories were simple, but full of truth. Together, we celebrated each small victory. Every phase that came into our shop reminded me that change is possible. I saw young people and older people eager to learn. I saw that hope can spread from one person to another, like a gentle fire. I wrote in my journal, life is a journey of many steps. Each step, no matter how small, moves us forward. I felt proud of the path I had chosen. Now, as I stand in my shop, I see a busy place full of learning and laughter. People of all ages come to learn, share, and grow. I smile as I remember the day I first decided to change my life. I remember the fear I felt and the hope that pushed me forward. I know now that it is never too late to try something new. I am grateful for the support of my family, friends, and mentors. Their help made my journey easier and my dreams possible. I see my life as proof that hard work and a kind heart can lead to new beginnings. Every day, I wake up with hope, knowing that each morning brings a chance to learn and grow. I close the shop at the end of a long day, feeling peaceful and happy. I know that challenges will come, but I am ready. I will continue to learn, teach, and share my story with those who need hope. I believe that each of us can change our lives no matter our age. I write in my journal one last time for today. It is never too late to dream, to learn, or to start again. My story is simple, a story of hope, hard work, and the truth that life always offers a new chance. I smile, ready for tomorrow, knowing that the journey of growth and change will never truly end.